Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. For the longest time, I hesitated on purchasing the hexagon lights, the grid lighting that you see in pictures and videos. Makes the videos and pictures look cool, but I was always procrastinating and hesitant in trying them because I just thought they were a fad and look cool, but a fad nonetheless. With the 25-foot ceilings in the new shop, we were having trouble with lighting, and we wanted to try something new. And one of the options or selections was the hexagon grid lighting, and we got it from Hexagon Garage. And we got an 8 by 15 foot section. Let me give you some of the specs on the grid that we got. LED tube lighting, color 3, 4, 5, and 6K, lumens 46,000 to a couple 100,000 depending on which grid you order. Mounting, wall, ceiling, or you can suspend them with chain or cable. We will be suspending them about 3 to 4 feet down from the top of the roof, bringing them closer to the vehicles, but leaving enough room for larger vehicles to go in. So we will use cables. And lifespan, you're looking at about 50,000 to 60,000 hours, and each grid is just under $700. We bought a couple grids. We're going to install 2 today. We have a lift coming in, a scissors lift to assist us with the job at hand. It's here. Let's get to it. One of the objectives is to get these tents out of here and get our nice open space back. Tents are great for a lighting rack, keep a little bit of dust off the cars, but they got to go. So let's open up the box, do the unboxing, show you what's in the content as Brian keeps on painting. I'll show you what those are. Those are going to be the frame 1-bys to help stiffen up and strengthen the grid as we lift it. The contents of the package consists of the instruction manual. You have short grids, pieces of grid anyways. They are LED lighting and they do snap together. The shorter grids are for the designs, the hex shapes and designs themselves. The larger grid pieces are the frame that goes outside around the designs and sort of square up the whole grid. And then there's wiring and all types of different connectors, Y connectors, T connectors, straight connectors. And they do give you some extras here and there. The pieces, each section, very, very light. So as a whole, it's not going to weigh a whole lot. I mean, it would do damage if it fell down off your ceiling or wall onto a car, but, nothing you can't handle to carry around. Let's start by getting the outside of the grid, the square grid of lights together, or the framing, so to speak, of this shape or design. Again, about 8 by 15 feet. You're going to have 6 pieces to put together with some straight connectors, corner connectors, and 1 T connector. And the T connector is where the electricity and the light will be fed into that section of the grid, if that makes sense. I would like to share, it's not hard work to get these grids together. A little bit of imagination as to how you want the shapes to be, and getting your wires exiting or protruding from the section of the grid and getting them close to your power source. Just a little bit of planning, but everything's snapped together. So maybe a little bit tedious, but other than that, not a bad user experience. I guess I could say the main gripe that I have, the material seems a little flimsy and cheap, but the wire or the cable that they give you is only a foot long. It doesn't help you at all. So this is what it looks like as you're snapping the joints together at the corners and everywhere else. And this is the power cable that comes in and feeds the grid and gives it its power. And every once in a while, as usual, I get interrupted by the shop manager. She's like clockwork, comes in 2-3 times a day for her hugs, and then she's on her way to a place where she can lay down and keep her eye on progress and work throughout the day. In about 5-10 minutes or so, you should have the outside of the structure of the grid put together. And as we're doing that, the strength and the frame of this, where this is going to be suspended from, is being painted. You can go any color you want. You can screw these directly onto a wall or a ceiling, or if you already have a grid ceiling, they do give you a couple bags of zip ties to zip tie it right to that grid. I wasn't happy about that at all. I just wanted mine suspended 3 or 4 feet from the ceiling. "16 Modelos later, a piece, we finally get the hex shapes together inside the grid. And when we had that complete, it's awful, awful flimsy. Light for the size, but the light, cheap material, you can feel how flimsy it is. It does need support. There are many ways to go about that. PVC, depending on the size, that won't give it much more support. 2x4s make it heavy, so 1x for us was the sweet spot. At this point, everything that was pulled out of the package from shipping is put together. And if you had a fixed area to place these, like your wall or your ceiling, you could get right to that. You would definitely need a bit of help. You cannot lift this with 1 or 2 people. 3 or 4 without any support is going to be, well, that might be even a little light. But if you are considering a frame to strengthen this up, you can get away with 2 people. So the next step of this project for us is going to be a foundation, or adding some strength to the structure. And we're going to place the 1x's around the outer edges first, and then run a few across the middle to give it even more support, putting it together with brackets. You'll be able to see the little screw holes that you can use to secure the structure itself to whatever you want to. You have to get your own hardware to attach it to the wall and ceiling. In the meantime, the shop manager is growing a bit tired of this project. Those of you that already have these lights secured in your shop or home garage, what have you used to strengthen the structure itself as a frame? Or did you just mount it straight to a wall or ceiling? Support for the center of the structure was also something we needed to add. Everything moving along nicely, no real snags to speak of at this point, but we got everything together and slid both of the grids up against the wall to make room for a scissors lift. A lot better than working off ladders, of course, a little bit safer. And we can also use the lift itself to lift the structure up. It's light, so you can use the cage. Anything really heavy, you never want to use the cage of a boom lift or a scissors lift to lift the actual material up. But in this case, you're perfectly fine. This is the hardware we chose to suspend the grid from the ceiling. And we're going to cut the cable to about 3 or 4 feet. With the 1-bys, adding a little bit of strength to the structure, 2 people can easily carry it now. That wouldn't have been possible really. Without the strength, it would have sagged and pulled apart. But you can carry it over to the lift itself, get it up onto the lift, and with the help of a buddy, you can get it hung and suspended from the ceiling and hook up the electric. As you hear us lift the structure onto the cage of the scissors lift, you'll hear cracking and groaning and creaking from the structure itself. Again, materials, what can you say? Thin plastic, thin aluminum-like metal with wires and LED lighting inside, and that's all there is to it. Just keep that in mind. When we do finally get to fire them up, I have to say the light is welcomed here. Not like you're working on the surface of the sun, but bright enough, and the brightest we've had in the shop so far. We've tried a few things. There are better options that are even brighter and may not take up quite the space. These look pretty cool for whatever that's worth. We did put these on a switch, and both the grids side by side really wash some nice glowing light over the vehicles as you bring them in. I'm going to bring a couple vehicles in, by the way, and give you an example of what they're good for and what they may not be the best for. We have a fleet of cars outside waiting for our services. The truck here is going to get PPF. That's fine under lights like this. Washing a vehicle's fine. Putting a wax, a sealant, coating a vehicle's perfectly fine. Plenty of light. I will tell you, paint correction, I would stick to, I like darkroom correcting with just one source of light at a certain angle, or if you want to use your correction lights, that would be perfectly fine as well. I don't advise these for correcting. They make your eyes a little bit goofy after a while, and they're not the best at picking out imperfections. In conclusion, are there better options? This isn't a sponsored video. I just wanted to share my experience as I do with tools and products on the channel. There are many other options available that would work. These may be within the top tier, but they're great for everything except for paint correction. in my opinion. I still like to turn them off when it comes to paint correction and use the shop light at about a 45-degree angle. So that's dark room correction. So I like to turn not just those, but all the lights off. And then also using the swirl finder for washing your car, for paint protection film, for waxing your car, a sealant, a coating. Yeah, perfectly fine. They do brighten up the shop. I have to give it that. The light washes off the walls and reflects around and gives the shop a warm, fun place to be, and you know, a place that's well lighted. So I will give it that. I'll keep you up to date as to how they hold up. Are they going to last? They will, you know, within the package they sent a few extra grid pieces. So if you have something that burns out, you can replace it, which is pretty cool. And some of the joints too, they sent as replacements or extras. Brian from Apex Detail, catch you in the next video.